We're on Chapter 1, Section 6, and we're going to be doing the quizzes and tests, but I didn't go over the balance sheet very well and what you should do when you have to add or subtract on the balance sheet. But first, let's look at the balance sheet. So you have the assets always on one side, liabilities on the other side. So this asset, they had 507.16 in cash, merchandise. We have 16,032.29, building and land 72,843.20, and so the zero assets we added and we got 89,382.65. So you're going to be doing these adding when you're taking your test, and when you don't have a calculator. Let's just see. And here's the liabilities. Wholesale models, we owe $630.89. Fred's Credit Union, $44,000 when you own the credit union. 582.36. Brass engines, 1,219. You add these up right here, and here you got the liabilities. To find the capital, you're going to take 89,000, subtract the liabilities, and you get the capital. That's what you're going to find. The capital is 42,962. So this is a good number. This is, oh wow, we have $42,000 in capital. And so then to balance this out, you're going to add the capital and the liabilities to check it and make sure, and should get the same number on the liability side as you do on the asset side. Okay. So another thing that I didn't go over, because you're going to go over, there's going to be some problems like that, but I didn't go over this part, which might be on the test. So I figured I should go over this, and then we'll start doing the quizzes and tests. So balance sheet must be done frequently because a business financial position is always changing. You always have more money coming in, or you have more payments going out. So just as your checkbook register must be adjusted for each check written or deposit made, the balance sheet must be adjusted for every financial transaction that takes place. So these balance sheets are going to be constantly changing, is what I'm saying. So Tracy Wilson opened a small shop. During the first month, she had the following transactions in her business. Tell what the adjustment should be made. So Tracy invested $10,000 cash in the business. So in doing this, she increased the assets and the capital each by $10,000, right? Because as she increases the assets, she also increases the capital, The cash is an asset, something owed by the business, and it is the owner's equity, another name for capital. So because both right and left sides are increased by the same amount, everything will remain the same, because she's going to basically increase one side, the asset side, and she's also going to increase the capital side. So same picture as you have if you had this picture here. So you would increase the asset side, and then she'll increase the capital side. So these two sides will be balanced out. So here's another thing. Tracy paid $500 in cash for a desk. So she decreased and increased the assets in the same level. She has $500 less in cash, but she also has a new desk that's worth $500, so it equals out. So basically, if she had this picture here, and let's just see this picture here. If she had a desk, and she bought a desk, took some of her cash and she bought a desk, this would go down $2,000 worth of cash. It would be $1,500 of cash, and then she would have a desk that's worth $500. So the assets just remain the same, and so this would still balance out. So if Tracy borrowed $1,000 in cash for merchandise, so now she borrowed $1,000 in cash for merchandise and increases the assets by $1,000 because she has $1,000 more now in the assets, but she increases the liability by $1,000. So in that point, basically, you look like this. If she borrowed $1,000 over here, and then in that moment she'd have the $1,000 would move over here, right? So the capital would actually change because she's basically borrowing money, but giving money, but it would equal out the same. So just those things that change. The increase assets by $1,000 and increase in liability by $1,000. So that would be the change. So just to know how to do that, okay? So just to know on this page, let's say you paid $500 in cash for merchandise, then you're going to increase and decrease the assets by $500 in the same side. So the same way, if you paid $200 in cash for chairs, you're going to increase and decrease by, because the chairs are still worth it, so you're not losing any money. So the owner invested $1,000 in the business, and you're going to have more assets now. You increase the assets and the capital by $1,000. So if you purchased $500 worth of office supplies on credit, so that means you're going to increase the assets by $500 and increase the liabilities by $500. So just to know how to do these, okay? So you know how to do them. Let's go on and maybe do another one. If you receive $2,000 from investors, you'll increase the assets by $2,000 and you increase the capital by $2,000. So same way, just going by what I told you how to do that. So let's go on, and we're going to go over the quizzes, so I think I'll go over the quizzes, and then on another one we'll go over tests on something. So let's go over the quizzes. Quizzes should not be very hard now. Quiz 1. Okay, when cash payments exceed cash receipts, that means you have more payments. You have more payments than you have cash receipts. There is an excess of cash. No. True or false? False. You have a deficit. Payments are what you owe and receipts are what you own, the money you have. So if your payments are more, you're going to have what's called a deficit. More payments, you're going to have a deficit. So this is false. Money owed to a business is accounts payable. No, if a money from a business is owed to you, that'd be your accounts receivable. So this is false. So money owed to a business. So you have a business that owes money. That's your accounts receivable. This would be called accounts receivable. That means receivable. That means that's the money that should be coming in from another business that owes you. So this is false. Money owed to a business is accounts not payable but receivable. So number 3, accounting is keeping money records. Yep, that's what accounting is. It's an easy one. The building that a business owns is an asset. Yep, if you own your business, your building, it's an asset to you. Okay, the next, in $15.21, there are 2 dimes and 1 penny. There sure are. There are 2 dimes. Here's the dime, and here's the penny. So there's 2 dimes and 1 penny. So that's true. I don't even know why they put that one in here. It's kind of a weird one to put in here, but there are 2 dimes and 1 penny. Can't be anything else. So now we have number 6. They want to know, and then you have to add this. So you should be able to add this, right? So I shouldn't really have to show you, but these are add-ins. This is an add-in, this is an add-in, this is an add-in, this is an add-in, and this is the sum. And so then you're going to add each one. 5 plus 7, what is, it's going 5 plus 7 is 12, plus 2, 17, is 23, carry the 2. So you're going to have to add all this, okay? So make sure you show the work because they're going to look for these numbers, look for the work. Number 7. You're going to subtract. This is called a minuend. This is what you're going to subtract. This is called a subtractahend. This one's the subtractahend, subtracting it. And this is the minuend. And then the answer is going to be the difference. You need to know that. And so you're going to go ahead. You're going to have to borrow, right? So if you have can't take 6 for 5, you have to borrow. You put 15, 9. So this is 0. You got to borrow over here. 10, 8. So the 7 from 3, you got to borrow over here. Each one you're going to have to borrow on this one. And so you've got 12 minus 7 is 5. Then 6 from 8, borrow here, 15, 7. So they really want you to know how to borrow. And so here we have again, 9 from 8, you can't, so you have to borrow again. So 18, so this would be the difference. So you want to find all that. Now you're going to do a multiplication problem. This is a harder one because it's 3. So you're going to have, this is called a multiplicand, or a factor. This is the multiplicand and or the factor. And this is the multiplier or the factor. And then this is going to be a partial product, partial product, partial product, and the answer is going to be a product, right? So you're going to go ahead and do this on your own. Each one, these numbers have to be the top. I don't want you just to do this, but you're going to have this, add it. But at the end, you see you have a decimal point here, so you're going to have to go over 2 decimal points, 1, 2, and then you'll get the number, okay? So last one is just a borrowing one. I shouldn't have to help you with these, but here's the borrowing, $3,000. You have a minuend, subtrahend, and difference. This is a subtraction problem. So you got to borrow, right? So you go clear over here and borrow this 3, make it a 2. Then make this a 10, make this a 9, make this a 9, make this a 9, and this a 9. And so then this is a 10. So 10 minus 9 is 1, 9 minus 2 is 7, 9 minus 3 is 6. 9 minus 6 is 3, 9 minus 9 is 0, and then 2 minus 1. Just make sure you know how to do that. So that's the end of your test, or your quiz. Looks like a really easy quiz. I hope you do it on your own. I hope you did it on your own. So quiz 2. Anything, so these you need to know these words, what they are. So anything of value owned by your business is called an asset, right? Money owed to business is called a liability. So just to know the difference. Or accounts payable. That means that a liability is they owe you that. So it's your accounts payable or your liability. So it's called accounts payable because they need to pay you, right? So number 3, keeping of money records is called accounting. You should know that one easily. The business or person to whom a business is liable is called the creditor. The creditor is the person that you owe money to. Money owed to a business is going to be your asset, but it's also, they want to know it's accounts receivable. So if money owes you a business, it's accounts receivable. That's your accounts receivable. Accounts receivable are all the people that owe you money, right? Okay, let's go on to number 6. List the assets and liabilities and find a total of each. So we have Jason Electric has $1,000. You should go ahead and list this as $1,500 in cash. So he has $2,000 in accounts receivable. So these are the good things that he has. He has cash and he has people owing him accounts receivable, $2,000. He has $5,000 in furniture that he owns, and he also owns $25,000 in merchandise. So this is Jason Electric. And then he owes the bank $10,000, and accounts payable, he has to pay some people $500. So now you want to list the assets. So you're going to add these assets, 1,500, 2,000, 25,000, 5,000. You're going to get $33,500 in assets. Liabilities, he's going to have what? Add the liabilities up. Find the total of each. Now if you wanted to find the capital, of course, you're going to subtract these two things, but it doesn't ask you to do that. So number 7, Mary D had $73.90 in cash receivables, or cash receipts, I should say, last month. So this is good. And then her cash receipts exceeded her payment by $5.99. So she had, how much were her cash payments? So she had, basically, how much were her cash payments? She had $73.90 and exceeded her payment by that. So basically, you're going to subtract that, and this is how much were her cash payments. So basically, her cash receipts minus this, what she had basically had left over. So her cash receipts minus this would be how much payment. So she had to, this is how much she had in cash, but she had to make this much payments. Right here, she had to make this much payments, and this is what she had left over. See how that is? So Tyler TV has 37 televisions at $397.80. So how are you going to do this? You need to do this and work this out on here. So 397.89 times 37. You're going to say 9 times 7 is 63. Carry the 6. 56 plus 6 is going to be, 56 plus 6 is going to be, let's see, what do I have here? 56 plus 6 is going to be 62. But so anyway, you can do this whole addition. And make sure you put your numbers up here that you're adding so you can get the right number. Afterwards, you can check it, you know, if you want to. Check it on, I check on the calculator or whatever. So I guess that's it for your quizzes. So, I wonder if I should start going over your, oh, we have quiz 3. Let's do quiz 3. It's not it for the quiz. One more quiz. What is the term for money or property that has worth to the business? Those are called assets, right? That's the worth you have. What term is used to indicate the amount of money owed to the business? Accounts receivable or liabilities. They're liabilities too, but I would say the accounts receivable is the business owes you that money. What is the answer to a multiplication problem? Is the product. Factor times factor is a product. What is the term for the amount of money that a business owes to others? So if you owe to some, it's going to be liability or your accounts payable. Accounts payable means that's what you owe. You have to pay. That's and that's our liabilities. What is the term used for the person to whom a business is liable as a creditor? Okay, find the assets of a business that has 5 computers, each worth $2,038. So you know how to do multiplication. $2,038 times 5. Make sure you work this out so that you can see. Make sure you carry your numbers. 8 times 5 is 40, carry the 1. And then 15, 19, this is 19. And carry another, there we go. It's 19. And carry the 1. There you have 1 and 10. So find the cost of 8 packs of paper. Costs $1.19 times 8. 72, carry the 7, that's 15, carry the 1. There's 9, here you go. Make sure you put your dollar sign there, they'll count it wrong. Find the total liability for the debts. So here's all your debts, you add them up, $38.40, 156. Make sure you line up your decimal points, then add them all up. You know, so 18 and 5 is 23, so add them all up. So on May 25th, Ralph's Food and Grain had $58,960 worth of stock, right? And so the property value of $130,500, equipment worth of $4,319, and cash worth $8,310. And then he owed the bank $100,000 and the garage $10,000. So now we want to find the total assets. So we got to take the $58,000 here, $130,000, $500 here, $4,000 here, $8,000. These are going to be your total assets, and you're just going to add these up. 9, 5. Add these up. Make sure you carry your when you're adding these. Total liabilities are 110,000 liabilities. So pretty easy there, huh? So that's your third test. We're going through these or your third quiz. So I'm going to go, let's see. Yep, that's it. So the next is going to be your test. So I'll do your test on a different one.